crushing your body. I'm crushing your... It doesn't really work. Look at his ass. Look at that ass. Okay. Enough fucking around. I got this neat setup I'm going to try here so that you can see my body while I'm talking to you. This stance business is super important. So I wanted to talk about an idea that I saw a couple weeks ago. Actually, I saw it like yesterday, but it was published a couple weeks ago from a pretty well-respected voice teacher. He's talking about not letting the epigastrium come out when you sing, and about keeping the ribs high. I have some problems with talking in this way because one, the thing is, it seems true because you look at examples of good singing and you see indeed that they don't do this and they're not like this most of the time, so on and so forth. On the other hand, I've seen a lot of shitty singing that starts with the idea that you're going to hold your ribs out and you're going to act like you're inhaling while you're exhaling. That is... Let's look at some quick details about your hips. When you pick up your foot, right? See my foot? Okay. So this foot, my hip can rotate this way, right? But also, let's see, it can be more like this, and it can go the other. So if I showed you with my hands, you know, it's like it can go like this a little bit. And that's related to turning it this way or this way. I'm flexible today. Or this way. So it can roll like this, right? So when I pick up my foot, you can make an exercise out of this. Is just go for a walk with your foot, with your feet. Yes, go for a walk with your feet. You're gonna lift, not this way, and not this way, but straight up. And when you come down, it's going to be straight down, not like this. Not like this. Straight up, straight down. And boop, this other foot is waiting to come straight up and straight down. Not like this, not like this. So straight up, straight down. That's all. You make an exercise out of this. Just thinking about this. You know, I'm not just picking up the whole foot. And yeah, I've got nice barefoot boots on that make this extra pleasant. Okay? So once you've gotten used to this, imagine, so the side stands here. Now if I were completely square, let's see if I can see this from the side. Okay. So when I'm totally square like this, right? I can lean forward and back to move this center of mass forward and back, right? But not a lot. And when I do, I lift my toes and I lift my heels. Whoop. And I'm losing my balance. So I have to brace. If I separate my feet just a little bit, so that I have some room now, Well, now I can move this all the way back here and all the way up here. Okay, and this costs me very little. Okay, and I've moved my center of mass all that way. Now I could even keep my feet really close to the ground. Oops. There we go. And now if I didn't let this epigastrium come out and I lean forward, well, I get longer. And then when I go here, I get shorter. Longer, shorter. See this line up here? When I'm back here, I'm this tall. And when I'm up here, I'm this tall. Now, if I did come here, and I rotate, see, I haven't gotten any shorter. With this rotation, my weight is on this leg. There's my weight. And I've rotated out, and I'm just as tall, right? If I were to switch legs, well, now I got shorter, you see. If I'm in a tall way here, and my feet are pretty close together, as you see, well, now I can lift up, back up a little. I can lift up my foot nice and parallel to the floor. But if I'm in the shorter stance, see how my head is shorter? Now if I want to pick up my foot and I want it to be straight, I can't have this narrow support. Or I'll pick it up like from the heel first. I have to be wide. And I can pick it up. You know, of course now we're boxing or whatever. For singing, when I want to get longer, the reason I'm using my footwork is because, well, it's ridiculously easy. And when I'm talking about a falling breath, I'm saying that if I'm singing a phrase and I start here, if I finish here, how can I do that other than by becoming very tense? Because I'm losing volume here. The lungs are depleting. I must come down with it if I want to keep the same shape. If I stay up here, so you may be wondering, like, why do I need this crap? So, assuming you aren't square, when you offset your stance and you give yourself now the ability to fall down this way, or without even really moving your front foot, fall down this way. These don't work out the same way. Here's a good example of a phrase that requires me to have strict control over this. If I expect to have both the power at the top and to be able to finish the phrase with power. Power, power. Power! Power! Here. Now, if I had to get my, oh, see, it's nice here because I go bright, shade, bright, which is the reverse of what I want to do with the timbre. So I wind up stepping into the light here when I go up, and into the shade when I go down, because I need to get this eye behind this left heel. So I had to change rooms, guys. Sorry, so you can't see my butt in the mirror anymore. And then to go forward, this eye is basically above the ball of my foot. And you can use that to your advantage. A lot of times, someone who doesn't like to sing in the bottom of their voice, really what it is their movement patterns are very kind of forward like this. They're used to this. They prefer this position. So sopranos get here a lot and like this and don't like to come down. And they like to stay here. A lot of baritones and basses, they like to be here and they like to stay here and solid and wide. And they do not like to come up here. And they try to, often try to cover. And it's like a total mystery to them how to cover this, because they're so anchored with their center of mass back that this is really not obvious to them. And likewise, the sopranos have the reverse situation. But you can learn how to use the simple body mechanics that comes from just knowing about your body moving in 3 dimensions. And I have to say, a lot of the stuff I see out there is not helpful, because it's very two-dimensional approach. We'll have coaches and we see like this, and they're telling us all about this. Nobody's getting the idea, that your body can move in all kinds of ways. And singing is taught like something that's happening here. And then the teacher demonstrates, and they always, they always assume some kind of position before they demonstrate. Right after they tell you that all that matters is your concept of the sound or some closure in your throat or something like that. But then they always do stuff with their body. And we also see it presented as the voice is just this, and then we see singers, whoa, from all kinds of genres, involving their whole body in the act of singing. There's a reason they do that, and there are certain patterns that you can pick up from the more successful singers if you're smart enough to look, and if you have the imagination to look for more than what's in these little diagrams about breathing and all kinds of stuff. Think about the big picture. See you guys.